Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's been a while. I've been working on some projects. I've been busy, but to be honest with you guys, no excuses. I said from the start I'm going to be doing these videos if and when I feel like it. And today I felt like it because a couple of people have been asking me for tips and stuff on what they need to do to buy a new guitar for someone who's just starting. Um, I'm actually myself been looking around for uh, a guitar. I just always want, and whenever I don't have one, I end up wanting one, a just Fender Stratocaster. Um, but yeah, what you need to do, especially with Christmas coming around, if you're a kid and you're lucky enough to have parents that are willing to buy you something like a guitar, uh, more power to you. If you're a parent and you need tips and tricks, well, here you go. If it's for yourself and your first time, you just want to start learning guitar, this is the video for you as well. This is just my opinion, mind you, and opinions may vary, like everything else. But this is what I apply even for myself, even nowadays when I'm looking for a new guitar. If you are completely brand new, you've never played guitar, the first thing you need to decide when you are going to buy your first guitar is what kind of guitar you want. Um, Basically, you're going to have two big categories here. You can either go electric guitar or you can go acoustic guitar. If you want to go acoustic guitar, that's fine. If that's the kind of music you want to play, or it's just you think it's going to be easier for your budget, um, it's not always the case. You can always find stuff that's electric with a small amp that's going to cost you about as much as a used acoustic. It's just you have to look around. Uh, if you want to go acoustic, no problem with that. You then got two major choices to make. Either you want to go with a classical guitar or an actual acoustic guitar. The difference between the two is your classical is going to be nylon strings, whereas your acoustic is going to be metal strings. Um, what's the actual difference? You can play whatever you want on whatever guitar, really. The difference is going to be in the sound. Some people prefer classical over acoustic just because the nylon is easier on your fingers a bit, I guess. It's definitely not the same kind of sound, so if you want to go for that kind of folksy kind of sound, you're going to be wanting to look at acoustics. And then for both, the main decisions you're going to have to make really is the body shape and I say body shape, it's really more the size. If you want to go for something like a dreadnought, yes, you're going to get a thicker, fuller sound, but the thing is beefy, and even I have trouble getting my arm around it to be able to play it properly. Um, if you're going into electric, the quick tips that I would give is just pre-plan a budget, go in, actually for either or really, uh, pre-plan a budget, so you've got $200 you're willing to spend for a guitar for a first time. Um, my first guitar cost me 50 bucks, and then I think the amp was something like 100 bucks over that. So, and it suited me fine for learning. It was fine for a while. I didn't know better back then, so it's a guitar, and my parents bought it for me. I was like 13 at the time. Um, the important thing when buying a guitar, especially even if it's the first time, even if you've been playing for 15 years or whatever it is, um, don't ever buy anything sight unseen. Um, and I'd go with especially true for the lower amount you're going to pay for it, the more true that becomes to me. I have no problem dropping the money it costs for an American-made PRS sight unseen. I know that thing's going to show up in perfect condition and it's going to be an amazing instrument. If you're beginning and your budget is in the $200 range, what you're going to be able to afford with that, barring used, used is always going to be another topic. The only important thing with used is go try it out fully. Even if you don't know how to play it all, at least make sure everything works on it and that it's comfortable for you. Um, the thing to note with very cheap guitars, if we're talking like the Squire or Epiphone starter packs and stuff like that, They're factory made in China, Indonesia, Korea, if you're super lucky, for that kind of price, or other such third world countries, to be honest with you. Uh, Not to say they don't produce, some of them are going to be decent, but the vast majority, there's no real quality control. Uh, they'll work, they'll play, they just won't be the best that they could be for that price. So, like I was saying, the cheaper you're going, the more important this is go out, try it in person, and try a lot of them, even if they're the same model, the same color, the same everything. There's going to be some vast differences. Um, just a quick anecdote, but I got a years back, I really got into Black Label Society, and I wanted the Zach Wild Epiphone signature. I went to the store. They had the cream and black bullseye. They had about three of those. They had one buzz saw, and yeah, so I think they had four. I tried all four, and one of them was actually decent, felt nice, was nice playability, and that's the one I ended up buying. Uh, and that was still like a $900 guitar. So, like I say, cheaper you go, the more you're going to have to go out and just try them and make sure it feels nice for you. Now, like I was saying, if you are just a complete beginner and you have no idea what you're doing, doesn't matter. Uh, the important things are going to be if it's electric, you're going to want to go through all the settings, make sure all the pickups work, make sure volume, tone, whatever the controls are, everything works. You can do that without knowing what you're doing. Just flip them, make sure you're getting sound. If you crank the volume all the way down, make sure it stops making noise. Uh, Tone's a bit more, not susceptible, but you know what I mean. Tone is a bit harder to discern if you don't know what you're doing, but like you'll hear a bit of a difference. Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. And then for any kind of guitar, acoustic or electric, the important part is going to be just put your hand on the neck. Everyone has seen someone play guitar, you know approximately what it's going to look like. Just put your hand on the neck and run it up and down. Okay? Don't death grip the thing, just lightly place your hand as if you would be playing and run your hand up and down. The important thing to feel is the fret job on the sides. I've had like my PRS, which do a beautiful job of the fret finish, and then I've had way back in the day when we first started playing, me and my brother bought a LTD M100, 150, something like that, and the fret job was just horrible to the point where you were almost cutting the inside of your fingers. So you just want to check. Again, if you're going in the $200 range, don't expect something butter smooth, but you want something that's not going to injure you. The other thing to check would be, and again, it's a bit harder to do if you have absolutely no clue what you're doing and you're a beginner, but what you want to do is check for, basically for a complete beginner, okay, when you are fretting a note, you don't want to be mashing that string down all the way so that you're feeling it's pressed against the wood underneath. What you want to do is just put light pressure so that that becomes a point where it stops vibrating and the next fret is going to be the length of the string. You want to just quickly make sure that just running your finger along and playing the notes, that there's no extreme buzz. Sometimes that can be fixed easily enough, but again, if you're just beginning and you have no idea what you're doing, if you do notice some buzz or something's wrong, ask the store. Any store that's halfway decent would include at least a basic setup of any guitar you buy. And I don't care if it's a $200 or a $2,000 guitar, any store should be setting them up reasonably well. Anyone that buys a guitar, even if you're paying $200, if it's badly set up, it's not going to play as good as it could. And if you have a guitar that doesn't play as good as it can, you're not going to want to pick it up. You're not going to want to learn, and that's going to be the most important thing. Another thing that I would suggest is, yes, say you've got a $200 budget. pick up something that's like going to be a $300, $400, and just try it out. You might realize that there's not that much of a difference and you'll be way happier with your instrument, or you might realize that, yeah, it's like $100 more than I wanted to spend, but that thing is way, way better than this thing. I say that because me and my friend, like I said at the start, we're both interested in getting a Fender Stratocaster. It's just something I always like having. Um, I don't know why. I always buy one, I always sell it, and then I always regret it, and I always want to get another one. But we've been talking, and we both kind of like watched a couple of videos of people saying, you know, what's a good value for your money is go get a Squire Classic 5. They retail for about 530 Canadian, a bit less if you're lucky, I guess. Closer to like 300 US dollars. And then just swap out the parts slowly to make it a better guitar for what it is. I actually went to this store yesterday, and this is a bit why I decided to make this video as well. They had a bunch of Squires. I grabbed a couple. I fiddled with them quickly. Yeah, the $130 stuff is not that impressive. They're made in China. Um, which that's another thing if you're just starting out and for your budget, if you want to start eliminating stuff quickly, look at where it's made. I would personally say definitely avoid anything that's made in China. The quality control is just horrible, horrible, horrible. You want to look, if you're going for that low a price in the $200 range, look for something that's made in Indonesia. It sounds weird, but I will swear to you that Indonesian-made guitars are way miles better than anything that's made in China. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yes, I grabbed a couple of Squires. Chinese ones were horrible. Even the top of the line, which is their Classic 5 series, which, like I said, retails for about 500, 540, depending on the one, depending on the color. The fret job, they only had like one in stock, to be honest with you guys, and that was right-handed. I can't play left-handed, so I didn't even bother. The fret job was really disappointing. And then next to that, I grabbed, just quickly, a Fender standard Stratocaster, which I think are made in Mexico, which is another made in that I would tell you guys to avoid as much as possible. But even that, the fret job felt way better, and we're talking about $140 difference in price between the Classic 5 and the Mexican-made standard Fender Stratocaster. So just that, to bring it back to what I was saying, is just that, picking that up. Yes, I didn't want to really be spending in the $700, $800,000 range for another Stratocaster. But just the difference in feel and quality between the two kind of made me just think that maybe I'll save up like another $200 and just go with the full Fender. But there you go. So just to resume everything, the important things are don't buy stuff sight unseen, whether it's used, whether it's brand new, it doesn't matter. Always go in person and try it out. Even if you have no clue what you're doing, you'll still be able to feel this is comfortable, this something feels off. Preferably take a friend with you that knows how to play guitar, and he will be able to tell you, yes, this is all right. No, this is no. And yeah, just and then the other thing I would add is, and it sounds stupid, go with a guitar that you like the look of. If you are buying a Fender Stratocaster, for example, they come in a wide range of colors. You know, if your thing is you want a black guitar, you want an all-white guitar, you want a red guitar, they make them. Don't settle for, well, you know, the hot pink one was $200 less because no one wants that color, or whatever the color is. I've been there. I bought the last Fender Strat I actually had, and I'm talking a lot about Fender Strats today, but the last Fender Strat I had was a previous year's model, and I got it on super sale because of all the previous year models that they had. The only ones they had left were in this color because no one wanted that color. the deal was kind of too good. I kind of bought it, and that is honestly probably one of the biggest reasons of why I ended up selling that guitar. Was quite frankly just the color of it. It didn't make me want to pick it up and play it. It was just a really ugly brown gold color. Um, so again, that sounds stupid, but go with something that is going to inspire you and make you want to pick it up and play it. But there you go. Those are my quick-ish, still 15 minutes, but hey, my quick-ish tips on what to look for, what to do, whatever you want. If you're buying your first guitar, or if you are going to buy your fifth guitar, sixth guitar, 20th guitar.